Live from the world center of racing, we welcome race fans one and all as we get set to bring a new series into the Green Flag TV fold. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway for the season opener of the TNGG IEL Truck Series. My name is Ola Rempel. Tonight I got Daniel Paulus Jr. and so together we're going to bring you all the coverage from the TNGG IEL 200 and the season opener of this Truck Series' fourth season. Daniel, we get set to go racing, and what better of a way to kick it off than here at beautiful Daytona International Speedway. It is, of course, a marquee event for just about any NASCAR Series of the Iverson schedule, and it is a mainstay here on the Truck Series calendar as well.
Yeah, Daytona is one of my favorite tracks, Nolan, and I can't wait to see this race. One thing you want to do is stay out of the big one here.
That ever-important big one. It is going to no doubt be coming up several times as we will be working our way through the race tonight. You never quite know how the big one's going to happen. It's always, though, usually a question of when is it going to happen. So we've got ourselves just over 20 drivers here tonight getting set to take it to the racetrack for 80 laps, 200 miles around this 2.5-mile super speedway. And boy, oh boy, is it ever going to be an exciting race for us here tonight as we get set to get things kicked off. And I have a feeling we could be in for one fantastic run here in the season opener of the TNGG IEL Truck Series. Still have several drivers out here on the racetrack trying to make qualifying laps. Among those, the likes of Christopher Howell, currently coming across the start-finish line for his first qualifying lap. Now, oftentimes, the way qualifying works here at Daytona, right, Daniel? You'll run the high line for the first lap, then the low line for the second. Build up that speed, sacrifice the first lap, and then put yourself in a good run for that second run.
Yeah, so when you're coming up to your first lap qualifying, you're going to want to stay very, very low. You want to be right next to that double yellow line. You don't want to go below it because that could forfeit your qualifying effort. But you want to hug that double yellow line. You want to make the track as short as possible, and you want to get a good enough run to get the pole.
Christopher Howell coming across start-finish line here. He's only going to have 5 seconds, though, on the board, so I'm not sure if he'll be allowed to finish up this second lap here. You'll look at the top where Bill Hales and Merrick Watchorn currently sit just 1 point, or 1,000th of a second separated between the 40 and the 91 truck. As we're going to watch Howell come across start-finish line here. He currently sits 17th on the board, so he'll promote himself up to that 15th spot, waited on Brandon McLaughlin as well, as he's going to come across our finish line, dipping 2 wheels down onto the yellow line. We are not allowed to be running down below that yellow line, and unfortunately this lap here will be one that is invalidated. So Brandon McLaughlin will not be able to put down a qualifying effort here on that one, as qualifying for the most part going to be just about wrapped on up, as again, only 5 minutes and a 10-minute qualifying session is allowed for qualifying. The other 5 minutes are when the drivers do their drivers' meeting. But it gives us a bit more time to talk about, the Daytona International Speedway as a whole, right? I mean, this is one of those tracks that is very, very famous all across the world. It hosts not just, of course, the NASCAR and ARCA series here on an annual basis, sometimes even twice on an annual basis, but also the Rolex 24 Hours at Daytona to kick off the IMSA Sports Car Championship. And, of course, that is always a huge event here year after year. And I believe it is, in fact, one of the only road course oval hybrids that gets itself with a 24-hour endurance race in a year.
Yeah, the Rolex 24 is very famous, and it's really nice to see those sports cars go around at night, especially.
Still got one driver out here turning laps around the racetrack, and that is the likes here of one Daniel Lewis, who's going to come across start-finish line this time by putting to a close his opening lap in the number 20 truck, and he'll be actually putting himself up to 20th spot. So it looks like while the driver's meeting is ongoing, there are still a few drivers that are opting to see if they can't just slip in under the wire. It was a 52.695 for the first run. He's got a 52.355 to beat. I think it says a thing or two when the about 1st through 14th separated by less than half a tenth of a second here. But that's just what it's like at super speedway races. I mean, you look at second and third. They're tied for that second position between Michael Mayu and Merrick Watchorn in the number 91. And then, of course, it's less than 10,000 of a second back to Colt Plaskowski in that number 21 truck as well. So Lewis will come across turn number 4 here this time through, and we'll see what the number 20 Chevrolet can put down in his good wrench machine. Coming across start finish this time by. Is it an improvement from 20th on the grid? It is! It's going to be pole position by 0.02 of a second for the number 20.
Yeah, and don't count out the drivers that are in the back of this field. They can struggle in qualifying, but have a really good handling truck throughout this race and can potentially win the race and stay up front.
1 out of 2 drivers have yet to make runs. We're waiting on Chris Vamastricht, who we're still waiting on to see if that 02 car will make an effort here in qualifying. But Jamie Dunning, the only other driver yet that has yet to make a run here in that 28 Black Rifle Coffee, number 28 Chevrolet. Going to see if he can't put down a qualifying lap in his red rim machine as he'll run down into turn numbers 3 and 4 on his out lap. We've got just under 2 minutes now remaining in qualifying. The new time to beat, a 52.335, but he's not running that outside line on that out lap, or I'd imagine maybe even on the first lap, which doesn't necessarily bode terribly well if you want to get yourself with a good qualifying effort here early. Running the outside line is something that's very common to see drivers doing, especially, though, I'd say in the Gen 7 cars is where you see it being most prominent.
Yeah, for sure. The Gen 7 cars, you can see that a lot more happening, but here in the truck series, you hear it. I'm not here, but you can see it here and there.
Running down that back straightaway in the number 28 machine. So far, looking like this might be a time that could be for the lower half of the field, I'm imagining. He's not going to have time to run that second qualifying lap, which I think why he's opting not to run the high lane here. No point in sacrificing your one lap if you're not going to be able to make anything of it. So he'll hug that bottom lane all the way off of turn number 4 and into the tri-oval. Past the guy could restart zone and then to start finish, and it will be 14th quick, 52.388, and that's going to be the last driver that's going to be able to put down a qualifying lap as we got 15 seconds on the clock here in qualifying. So as the last of the drivers here are going to cross the start-finish line, and we're going to wrap things up here in qualifying. We're going to take a rundown of what your starting grid is going to be looking like as we get set to go racing here for a phenomenal 80 laps of racing action here tonight. On pole position, it is Daniel Lewis, the 52.335. Bill Hales will be starting it up alongside him on that front row. Merrick Watchorn starting in third on row number 2 with Michael Mayu back beside him in fourth. Cole Plaskowski going to be in 5th with Kevin Lee. In 6th, Patrick Hernandez, the Fort Worth native, going to be back in 7th with Giovanni Occhipinti back in 8th. Dale Rapp is in 9th with John Bawalda Jr. back in 10th. Brad Slagle and Chris Gore going to be back on row number 6 as we move through the field. Row 7 holds Dylan Simmons and Jamie Dunning. Anthony Mata and Aaron Raymond going to be on row number 8 with Chris Howell and Timmy Reed on row number 9. Row 10 then holds Mike Allen and Dan Witt. Rounding out the field here tonight, you've got Julian Ballou, Joshua Jernigan, Brandon McLaughlin, and Chris Vambastricht. Rounded out a 24 truck field here tonight as we get set to go racing for the first time here in the TNGG IEL Truck Series season. That's rounded out your starting grid here tonight, and we're going to get set to see if we can't come away with a great race here tonight. Daniel, I have to say, it's one of those races that could go just about anywhere. What do you think we can expect as we get set to go racing for those 80 laps?
Yes, for those 80 laps. It should be crucial. Here are your key plans to get their victory there. First of all, you want to avoid the big one. Even if you get the big one, much little damage as possible. Second off, you want to get those drafting partners, but you didn't know they're not your teammates, or their manufacturer teammates, or your normal teammates. You want to hook up to them, make your way up to this spot, and you have to stay calm, stay collected, without the aggressive during the few laps, because there's values to at that.
I agree with you on that one, and apologies as well for the apparent technical difficulties we're having with Daniel's mic. We'll try to get all of that sorted here in short order, but the field is gridded on up, and we are ready to rumble. We're going to have one driver start this race from pit road. That is Michael Mayu, who has opted to start this race from the back of the field. The 00 car already off to a bad start. He was set to start up in the top 5. He is not the only one. He's going to have one more driver starting down at the tail end as well. But for now, the rest of these drivers are going to get set to roll off of pit road, and we'll get set to go green flag racing this time by It's going to be an exciting race tonight, and it will be an intense season opener for all of the drivers involved here, as we're going to be looking to see what kind of a race we're going to be expecting tonight. I mean, Daytona can oftentimes set the stage and set the tone for what we can expect to see throughout the course of a truck series season, and it's a long season at that. We're racing all the way through until November, so it's going to be a long night and a long season ahead of these drivers, and it gets set to kick off right here, right now at the Daytona International Speedway, as we will run down into turn numbers 3 and 4 down that back straightaway. That number 20 car going to lead or the 20 truck, excuse me, going to lead the way off, but the lead often not somewhere you want to stay for too long.
Yeah, for sure. You know, if you're in the lead, you're going to get pushed around on these restarts. That could cost you.
As the field gets set to stack it up, double it up off of turn number 4. Want to thank everyone for taking time to join us here tonight on Green Flag TV. And we'll get set to go racing for 80 laps, 200 miles, about to get underway as the pace car exits turn number 4 and leads the field down to the tri-oval, down to pit road, into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is up in the air. We're racing for a new season on Green Flag TV.
As you see the trucks coming out of turn 2, you can see the inside lane. That 20 truck has a nice inside line formation. The outside is struggling a little bit as they're heading down the back straightaway.
Daniel Lewis leading the way. Merrick Watchhorn pushing him down to turn number 3. The 40 of Bill Hales still leading the way up from the top shelf, but has been slipping back from the drop of the green flag. And it will be Lewis to lead the opening lap in the TNGG IEL Truck Series. Well, you got Timmy Reed and Michael Mayu way back down in the field with a lot of work to do, as they both had to start this race down from pit road. They're going to be looking to see if they can't get themselves sorted with a good run later on in this race. Lewis continues to lead the way. Here comes Hales, though, with a shove from the top side.
As you see Hales on the outside lane working, trying to get around to 20 of Lewis. It's coming down the back straightaway. See the 11 of Hales pushing down on that 40 truck on the outside lane. Here comes 11 truck of Lee. He's going to try to be on the back bumper of that 40 truck. As you see on the inside, the 91 trying to push the 20 of Lewis to the lead.
And Hale's going to give that shove. It's going to put him right up even with Lewis as we run down off of the tri-oval and back down to turn number 1. That 11 truck of Kevin Lee doing good work on the outside, trying to push the 40 of Hales through to the front of this race. You've got the 20 of Lewis still on the bottom, being pushed by Watchorn back in third, and it is still double file as you run down the back straightaway. That's something that we can expect to see for a good chunk of this race, is just this double file racing while we let these laps slowly tick away. Hales for a moment pushed up and actually got in front of the 20 by about a nose. You got to rely on the runs, though, off of turn number 4. Otherwise, you're going absolutely nowhere. And to get the runs, you're going to need a good pusher. As we rock down the front straightaway, Hales to the lead. We have our first lead change of the night.
You see the 40 truck in the lead there. He's going to have to make a block on that 11 truck of Lee. He's going to have to choose what lane to block now. He's in control of this field. As you see the 91 of Watchhorn pushing the 40 truck of Hales.
Watchhorn continuing to push Hales up to the front as he tries to keep that number 20 truck up at the front of this field, but you still got Lewis working the outside line, or Hales, excuse me, working the outside line. Lewis on the bottom as the 11 of Lee kind of wiggling around a little bit. You see the 000 right behind of Giovanni Occhipinti starting to drop back a little bit in third. That's kind of forcing the outside line to falter a little bit, and it's going to keep us directly side by side as we rock it down the front straightaway across start finish. We're already 4 down.
Just 4 down, but look at that 11 truck of Lee. He's being an aggressive pusher right now. That's what you want to get to the lead here at Daytona.
Off of turn number 2, went to the back straightaway. The 40 still looking to try to work that top shelf, see if he can pull clear of Lewis, but it's a big shove all the way down the back straightaway by Watchorn with Lewis down to turn number 3. And again, Lewis going to clear for that race lead. So we're going to continue to switch back and forth like this. And this is something that Super Speedway Racing brings up that you really don't see a whole lot of other places, right? You're going to be able to see these various lines starting to develop and shake back and forth, and we're going to be seeing a lot more lead changes, I think, that we're used to seeing over the course of the night. Now, it is worth noting there are bonus points being handed out, not just for leading a lap, but in fact also for the most laps led. So these little switches back and forth, they could mean the difference between that one precious bonus point for leading the most laps. When you get to a race where there is no chase or playoff system, you're going to get every point you can muster. As the field careens through 3 and 4 and down off of 4 now to the front straightaway. It is still the 40 truck to head up the way as we try to get ourselves sorted deeper and deeper into the mainstay of this thing. As you can see, looking a bit further back in the field, a good chunk of drivers are all collected in a big mess here of 2 trains. Oh, one into the outside wall, and who's that? Oh, we're wrecking down to turn number 2. One up on his side, as that is, I believe, the 20 that's up and on his side, and caution is out for the first time tonight. That was the 000 Occupinti that went up and on his roof in turn 2.
Now, were you expecting this to happen on lap 7, Nolan?
I was hoping it wouldn't, but anything can happen just about anywhere is kind of the general consensus of things, as we'll come down to the front straightaway and we'll take a look back on what happened here on this one, as it was a bit of a mess down into turn number 1 there. And I believe we're going to be able to get a look here. As you see the 000 get into the wall, the 5 and the 52 got together, and they just rebounded up into the field, and that kicked the 000 up and onto his roof, and he rolled down onto that front straightaway. So not what we were hoping to see for sure, but a tough way to start this race for a lot of the drivers in this field.
Yeah, that's not what the drivers wanted to see here on lap 7. You know, it's really early in this race. But now that they got some damage, I don't know how their speed's going to perform throughout the rest of this race.
You see the 52 up top. I think he got scared by the 000 going into the wall, so he went way down and got right into the 5, and that is what caused all of this to accordion up, and that's where we got several trucks up and onto its roof. You saw the 72, excuse me, of Chris Gore get into that in a fairly big way, as well as there's a whole host of trucks now that have some pretty hefty damage after that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, caution flag is out for the first time tonight for the Daytona International Speedway. We are going to be getting some yellow flag pit stops here as drivers are going to be making their way down to pit road. Now, they do have 55% fuel tank limitation, so fuel runs expect to be about 17 if you're in clean air, 20 if you're in a pack. And we're now a 10th of the way through this race as well. What do you think the strat's going to be? Just fuel, or are we taking tires as well here?
Now, if you were in that wreck, I would take 4 Goodyears and a Sunoco fuel. If it was just me right now, I would take just Sunoco fuel, and that's it, because we're going to try to save the tires for that.
Well, Merrick Watchorn's taking 4, whereas Daniel Lewis is going to be out, so it's a very split call by drivers up and down throughout the field. About half these guys taking fuel and tires, the other half taking fuel only. So we'll cycle these drivers through and we'll get them back up onto the racetrack. Once again, you're watching the season opener of the TNGG IEL Truck Series on Green Flag TV. We'll take a quick step back. We'll be back with you in just a moment here. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. We are coming to the conclusion of our first yellow flag of the night that saw Pinto be tipped up on his roof and the 72 of Chris Gore on his side, and a multi-truck pileup down in turn numbers 1 and 2. It started when Pinto got up into the outside wall. The 52, wow, excuse me, the 52 truck, excuse me, had drifted down. That was Dale Rapp that got down and went into the 5 of John Bawalda Jr. to kick things off. We are 1 lap to green though, and we're going to be coming back this time by for our next bout of green flag racing. It'll be 70 laps to go in the TNGG IEL 200 here from Daytona.
Now, were you expecting us to restart, Nolan? You expecting them to push aggressive like they have been, or do you think they're going to lay back now they saw the big one happen?
It could go either way. On one hand, drivers that are near the back have the chance to potentially make up some extra moves now that some of their competition has been eliminated. On the other hand, you still got 70 laps to go, a long way to go, and it was a bad mistake from one driver that caused all this to start off, so we're hoping that it'll be a bit cleaner here on this coming restart. Field's going to enter the guide restart zone. We are back to green flag racing here at Daytona. Bawalda going to be now 2 laps down as a result of that mess as the 20 of Daniel Lewis starts to lead the way down to 1.
And look how that inside lane has a nice formed line. Now look at the outside, how they're all scattered all over. That's going to hurt them. So now the inside lane's going to get a nice run coming down the front straightaway, but don't count the outside lane. Now when they come down the back straightaway here, you're going to see the outside lane get a little more of a run. As you see a truck out of turn 2 go down the apron there. Looks like they're going to come back up. But we're still green here and heading into turn 3.
That was Michael Mayu and Bawalda that both went down and be able to let these guys through. You talk about a different, kind of a break forward in this one as the outside lane didn't get going. That's caused a massive checkup in this field as you've got the first top 10 all in a line from about Lewis back to Blaskowski. Then you look at Vanderstrick, who's kind of running by himself with the 0-2. Then you got Jernigan in the back here. He's leading up that second train now. It's almost a second behind your leading pack. They just got single filed up, so they might be able to see if they can't run down your top 10 here.
Yeah, don't count that second pack now. Oh, somebody's on the apron there.
That was Jernigan dropping it out of line. He wanted nothing to do with whatever was going on to the back there, so he'll fall to the rear of the field. How about this up front? Remember we were talking about Lewis and Hales battling for the lead, being pushed by a few of these drivers? Now it's Hales actually trying to shove Lewis through to the lead, and that jump to the top has moved to Aaron Raymond, who's currently actually most spots gain of the day, plus 13 so far for the number 6 truck as he hightails off of turn number 4.
Yeah, don't count that one truck there, Powell. You know, he's been in the back lately, even the start of this race, but he's making his way up, cracking the top 10 here. But look at that second pack. I want to focus in on the second pack here. Now, if they just stay single file and work as a team together, they're going to catch up to this first pack. And we're going to have a lot more competition with here in the next 5-10 laps.
Oh, they've already caught them. I mean, they were over a second back about 2 laps ago now. The gap's down to 0.3 of a second. It is closing in a hurry. Blaskowski has got Vanderstrick right behind them now. And that second train is formed right back up, and now we are once again about 19 trucks strong as we rock it off at turn number 4. Oh, one to the outside wall, one spinning to the infield. Chris Gore sliding to the infield grass and into pit road. No caution, and he's going to bring that truck to a stop on pit road, and we're going to keep this green.
I was not expecting that, Nolan, but look who's coming for the lead. It is the number 6 truck of Raymond on the outside, getting a push from the 90 truck of Hernandez.
Trying to see if he can get that run here down the back straightaway. The Fort Worth native in that number 90 truck of Hernandez trying to shove the 6 of Raymond up to the point as Witt and Slagle swap position a bit further down the order as we ride on board with race leader here, Daniel Lewis, with Bale Hales directly behind him, seeing if he can get something sorted. We'll got some lap traffic up the road here. I believe that's the 000. They're going to make short work of Auckland here and put him 1 lap down. As your field runs down into turn number 4, want to get a quick look back here on what happened here coming off of turn number 4. Oh, Gore got into one of those trucks on the outside, and that's what sent him spinning down and into the infield grass, and as a result into pit road. And I believe Jamie Dunning also ended up kind of in a bad shape as he was kind of forced down to pit road as well, but wasn't on the racetrack and not in front of a whole bunch of traffic, so we're going to keep this race green. You look at Eric Watchorn down at the back of the pack. He was once the pusher for the race lead. Now he's last on the outside row as it stands, and that's all because he took 4 tires on the pit stops, and now he's struggling to fight his way back up through the field.
Yeah, and look who's in the top 3. We got Daniel Lewis, Hales in the 40 behind him, and 11 and 3rd of Lee. These are the top 3 strong trucks that we saw in the beginning of this race, and here they are back in the top 3 on the inside lane.
See the 11 of Lee looking around a little bit, seeing if there's maybe an opening, but the 92 of Dan Witt now with the most spots gained. He's plus 17 now and making a charge on the top shelf, try to go for the race lead. Look at this, he's going to make up 4 spots just on the back straightaway alone, and now side by side with Lewis down to 3 and 4.
92 side by side with the 20 truck of Lewis. 92's got the lead here at the line, it looks like. 92 side by side still with the 20 truck heading into turn 1.
Got a lot of drivers still right in the fray here, and now we're going to go almost 3 wide. They got to get around the 72 lap traffic, going to kind of mix everything up here, and this field is going to be in a tight shape, and we're going to get things sorted though. How about the 052 of Slago? He is on the move for the race lead now, as he's going to try to make that charge around the outside line. It is the 052 here, trying to make a run for the race lead. Brad Slagle going to be on a good run here as he tries to see if he can't establish himself with the momentum run coming off of turn number 4. I can tell you right now, Slagle is on the charge. See Lewis right alongside him as he is currently being shoved by Hernandez up for the top shelf. You can see just how much the 20 is able to gain over in 1 and 2 just by the momentum that you can get up from the bottom shelf. And then look at the run that you get down the back straightaway here, Daniel. And I tell you what, that outside lane there, it can work wonders as you rocket off to turn number 4.
It can work wonders, Nolan, as you're coming into turn 3. But the one thing you want to point out is you don't want to push in the corners, because if you get on that corner panel, it is going to cause a huge wreck. As you see Dan Witt right behind the 20 truck of Lewis as they're trying to get the lead back, but the 052 truck still in the lead.
Lewis and Slagle continuing to duke it out with the 92 and the 90 trying to push both them. Witt and Hernandez in a bit of a pusher's fight of their own here. I can tell you right now, it looks like Lewis might be the driver to stay up there on point here for just a touch longer as we'll run down to the back straightaway. It's going to, again, get to be a tight run. And don't forget, remember that pit stop window. It's going to be coming on up pretty soon here. We've got, I'd imagine, less than 10 laps to go before you start to see these drivers ducking down into the pit road.
Yeah, for sure. Within 10 to 15 laps, I say they come down pit road. But, I mean, they're battling really hard up here. As you see, the truck, the 90 truck of Hernandez getting a little loose, but 052 truck still in the lead as you see the 90 trying to look to get around the 052. They're in the turn 1.
Patrick Hernandez on an amazing run so far as he's working that top shelf. Dan Witt, though, trying to make the move up for that second position. Can he get clear of the 052 and make a run for the lead himself? Looks like no. On the Gen 7 and the Gen 6 cars here, that outside lane has got a lot of run underneath it, but of course these trucks not as aerodynamic. And how about that? Slagle trying to get down low. There was no room though, and he was forced to duck right back up. And I got a feeling Hernandez just caught him a massive break entering turn 3.
Yeah, that could have been a bad mistake there back there. That could have went 3 wide.
And almost did end up going 3 wide as we take lap 21. Quarter race distance as we rip back down to 1 and 2. The 052 of Slagle up on top. The 20 of Lewis still on the bottom. You look back throughout the rest of this field, and it is very much more of the same as drivers are so far in lockstep down that back straightaway. You even got a bit of single file action a bit further towards the rear of the field. And then, of course, you got your second train here, headed up by Dylan Simmons, Michael Mayu, Timmy Reed, Jamie Dunning, and Joshua Jernigan. drivers that had a hand to play in that opening caution of the evening as we rock around through 3 and 4 with the main pack.
Here comes the 52 truck with a nice run heading into the travel. They're going to be side by side at the line.
Still Lewis though to lead. You don't need to have the whole truck in front, just a nose if that's what it takes. And so far, I think Lewis has been leading the most laps out of anybody so far over the course of the day. Look at the 052 of Slago though, really leaning on the door, trying to side draft to force them back off of turn number 2 there onto that back straightaway. That's something we see a lot of drivers attempting to do, and it has the potential to work wonders, but you have always got to be careful, right? Because it doesn't take much to spin these trucks out either, and the slightest of touch is going to spell disaster for this entire field.
Oh yeah, for sure. As there's one driver I want to point out to you is in number 7 is Allen. You know, we haven't seen him up here lately in the front. He was worked his way back up to the front. And it looks like he's got a strong truck, but he just doesn't look like he wants to push quite yet.
Mike Allen running on that outside lane as it stands for the number 60 Chevrolet. He's got himself a good run as it stands, as he's up 13 positions where he started earlier in this race. I can tell you right now, Mike Allen's going to be in for a bit of a ride here as we continue to work our way deeper and deeper into this race. And again, he's kind of like Merrick Watchman, right? He's stuck on that outside lane, and he was one of those drivers that took not a 4-tire strategy or a no-tire strategy, but a 2-tire strategy for the number 60 on that first run of pit stops.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. You want to make up your decision. Do you want to get 4 tires or you want to get 2 tires? If you take 2 tires, you're going to get out the road earlier and faster than the other drivers. Here's Mike Allen. He's up 13 positions. He's from New York. He's doing really good right now. Hopefully just stay out of the big one. I think he's got a shot.
Merrick Watchorn has been making more and more moves as Chris Gore is going to be coming on down the pit road. So Gore, the first driver to make a green flag pit stop, or at least one that wasn't caused by being spun out off of turn number 4. And again, Slagle trying to clear for that lead, but still just can't get the tail end clear.
Yeah, I feel like Slagle, he had the opportunity there before turn 3 to probably cut down in front of the 20, but he probably didn't want it because it probably could have got turned right there. But right here, you can see he can go down. As you see, he's going to go inside.
Look out!
He's going to get turned. Big one's going to happen out of the tri-oval. You see the 60 of Mike Allen. The 1 getting collected is the 21.
Still got cars spinning as we enter turn number 1, and that's going to put us under caution fly number 2. And that, again, is going to make the strategy mighty easy as drivers will now be able to make their way down on the pit road. And we'll look back at this second yellow flag now as that got, again, a bit hectic. Patrick Hernandez collected in this deal as you see him get hooked up with Daniel Lewis. And we just talked about Allen, and the 6 truck was having a good run. You see the 1 gets collected in a big way. The 21 kind of stacked up in there on top of all of that. So that was just a mess all throughout as this field, you see right there, the 20 gets into the 90, and, well, it is just on at that point.
Yeah, there's no point in saving that. You see the 1 almost got through, but he just got clipped on the tail there.
Safe for the 21 there,
yeah,
Blaskowski.
I don't think the 1 or the 21's going to have that much damage. I think they still could contend for this win. But the 90 and 60 truck, well, that's questionable.
And jump back one more time and get a look on this one, see how this shaked on up as Patrick Hernandez got a little bit pushed out of the line. I think that's what did it, right? He got pushed out of the line a little bit, and that's when he got down to Lewis, and that's what kind of really checked this whole field up. Oh, and yeah, even more contact down to the low side. There's about 6 trucks here that ended up getting damaged as a result of that whole mess.
Oh, yeah.
Now the question again comes down to pit stops. Who's going to pit? Who's going to stay out? What's going to be the overarching game plan as we'll try to get everything sorted here? I can tell you right now, this has been a good run so far for a lot of the drivers in this field, and once again, just about everybody making their way and down for service.
Yeah, I think they're going to get like 4 good years, probably fill up on some fuel. And they're going to head back out.
I think this late in the race, you kind of have to take 4 tires at this point in time. Now, of course, tires is going to affect your pace, right? It will impact how much you're able to control your car on the XD scores. Oh, we got actually contact in pit road.
Contact.
As the 51 having a bit of problems on that deal as he made his way down pit road. We're going to look back at that in just a moment. If Daniel Lewis wins the race off pit road with a 2-tire strategy, Merrick Watchorn, same story. Dan Witt takes 2. Brad Slagle, the first driver to take 4. And I'm not seeing anybody at the moment that's taking fuel only.
And what about Slagle? Congratulations to Slagle. You know, he's been up here in the front. He's been running really well. He hasn't gotten any wrecks. And I think he's got a shot. What do you think, Nolan?
I agree. I mean, Brad Slagle has been one of those drivers that we've been seeing up at the front. And I think he's got some mass potential to be able to make a run here down into onto this restart as things stand. I'm going to get a look back on what just happened here as we got set to enter pit road here. It's with a 51 truck that this kind of got mixed around. That was Julian Ballou. So we're going to take a look on this one here as your field comes down to pit road. We're watching that 51, and I'm not sure what happened here, but it looks like almost a bit of lapse in concentration. He lets a few drivers through, maybe had to let those drivers through, right? And then he's slowing up because he's trying to, I think, find his pit stall. He's got the 14, and oh, man. Oh, this happened up in front of him, sorry. So the 1 actually kind of more, I think, involved in this one.
Yeah, and you never know. The 51, he could have been deciding, but he knew it was too late, so he had to come down pit road.
Where does this all happen? Oh, right there, the 68 and the 60 had some confusion, and the 1 had nowhere to go.
It looks like the 60 was braking to get into the pit stall, but the 68 was going, and he just couldn't brake in time.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. There's some confusion on drivers having to make it down to their pit stalls. I have a feeling that was the case as well of one driver not realizing how soon their pit stall was coming on up, and they had to make that hard turn. And you remember, the iRacing spotter does not function when you're down on pit road, so you have no way of knowing if you're alongside somebody until you turn in or you check your mirrors.
Yeah, and that's how difficult it is. You know, you have to make your own decisions sometimes, and right there, you didn't know. Like, you didn't know 60 of Mike Allen was going to check up a little bit, and that's what caused the reaction chain.
A lot of drivers here are going to be trying to get themselves sorted as we try to work ourselves up throughout this race. And I can tell you right now, it's going to be a rough ride for a lot of the folks here in this one, as you've got so many drivers that are just trying to survive the race at this point in time. You look up to Dylan Simmons, who is currently up 1 position, as he's going to be up there in that 12th position. Now, Dylan Simmons, of course, he's a driver that we're going to be seeing, I think, a bit more of tonight. He's going to be a driver that we're going to be having to see if we can keep our eyes on. And he's got some notes on his computer screen. Those notes read, drive fast, don't hit the brake. I think that sums up Daytona about as well as you possibly could, as that pace car going to pull back in off of turn number 4.
Here they come out of turn 4. Here they come into the tri-oval. In the Geico restart zone, we are back underway here at Daytona on lap 29.
Lewis again with a good jump, but now Merrick Watchorn started 3rd. He's up on that outside lane and seeing if he can't jump down or make the move for the lead. He is going to make the move for the lead. Jumping up and pulling in front of Lewis as we enter turn number 1, shoved by the 052 of Slagle, but Witt has already caught up to the back end of Lewis, and he'll give that 20 car the push piece and maybe get clear down that back straightaway.
Side by side, coming down the back straightaway, the 052 of Slagle there. Oh! See Witt there in the 92, a little off track there. Looks like the outside lane's got a nice little formation going. He's going to get around the 20 at Lewis.
And that 91. Bit of I was going to say, that bit of a scramble is going to give Watchorn what he needs to lead his first laps of the night.
Here comes 052 now. Now at the 91 on the inside. 052 is going to be side by side for the lead. Don't count out that 92 truck away. He's right there in this mix.
Still a lot to play for here tonight as Merrick Watchorn coming off at turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Speaking of a lot to play for, it is worth noting that they do have some cash nights here in the TNGG IEL Truck Series, as Slay will get a bit out of shape, and tonight happens to be one of those cash nights. Winner of tonight's race not only walks away with the first win of the season, but an extra $100 to boot. So there's some cash prizes up for grabs tonight that could up that aggression once we hit that second half of the race.
I mean, if it's $100, it's $100. Try your best. You're gonna be very aggressive, you know.
Merrick Watchorn still with that race lead. Slagle still not able to make a move on the top side, but now he's got one Braden McLaughlin to work with him. So that 81 truck could very well be the returning tide on the outside and help shove these drivers through to the point. But for now, we're just going to rip it down here into turn number 3 and 4. And Watchorn going to continue to maintain the race lead as your field goes through 3 and 4. How about the 92? You see him bobbling up from the bottom. That's going to stack the inside lineup as Dan Witt not able to get a good drive through 3 and 4.
See the 052 there, falling back now into 3rd position. But look at that 81 truck. Ooh, a little loose there in the travel. He's going to come right back up to the 052, give him a nice push in this lead. Looks like we're going to be side by side coming in turn 1. But that 20 of Lewis, man, he is very strong here right now.
Lewis has been one of the few drivers that's been able to be up front consistently all race long and stay there, and he's not looking to go anywhere anytime soon as your whole field thunders down the back straightaway. Again, you got a bit of a second pack starting to form almost, but not quite. I mean, you got Hernandez, Okpinti, and Howell way at the back of the field, but they're kind of all running by their lonesome. So you've got just this main pack here up at the front of the field from 20th place all the way back to Jernigan, back to that 18th spot as we rocket down the front straightaway. We start lap number 33, so the lap times continuing to wind away as we take lap after lap across the Daytona National Speedway. Witt up to the top shelf in front of Slagle.
Look at how the 92 of Witt made that nice move on the outside lane. Here comes the 052 giving the 92 of Witt a nice push coming out of turn 2. There it is. See, 92 has the edge for the lead here. If he could get another push, he could be clear of the 91. But here comes the 91 push from the 20. It's going to be side by side coming in turn 3.
And what a run that these guys are establishing as well, as Witt going to be side by side with Merrick Watchorn here as well. Exit turn number 4 and down that front straightaway. Watchorn continuing to hold the lead, but now it is Witt to see if he can do a job. So far, he's been doing the job of the pusher all race long. We're going to see if Witt can potentially establish himself as a leader here instead of a follower, as he'll head this train down to turn number 1 and 2. Trouble further in the background for Mike Allen, who has been found himself now out of the fight here tonight. Allen taking a tow down the pit row on this one. To get a quick jump back and see what just happened here to Michael Allen, as he's just going way to the inside, and I'm thinking either a technical failure or he's just had enough and called it quits. But no caution, could keep this thing great.
Yeah, I mean, poor Mike Allen. You know, we were talking about him earlier. He's been really strong, and right as you talk about him, he gets into a wreck. It's like the commentator curse.
Lap number 35, again across start finish, and we ride on board with Merrick Watchorn, currently trying to fight it out for that 3rd position up on the racetrack as these guys continue to try to sort themselves out. And I can tell you right now, for Merrick Watchorn, it's not easy knowing that you have the ability to lead this race. You've been leading this race, but now you're stuck just being the primary pusher. Good news is he's able to save that field. He could very well go a few laps longer than the likes of Slagle and Witt will if they continue to lead the race as they are.
Yeah, for sure. And look at the 14 truck of Simmons. We haven't talked to him recently. He's up here in the top 10. What do you think about him? As you see the 91 of Watchorn going to the outside, side by side with the 92 at the line.
I think when you look back to the likes here of Dylan Simmons' adventure before, I think he has shown promise tonight, right? I mean, he is one of those drivers that has been so far on a good drive throughout this field, and you ride aboard them here and you can see all the chaos that takes place at a race like Daytona, but it is, again, a race that can really see anything change. But he's been doing a good job of keeping his truck so far out of trouble, and I think he could be in for some big things later on throughout the duration of this race.
As we're on board here with the blue cam, see the 81 truck in front. Still side by side with Watchhorn going to the lead.
Watchhorn has jumped to the top shelf, as you've seen there as well, as Slagle now approaches the 91 truck. Wait, I think Watchhorn just able to lead lap number 36 there as we again hit it to the front straight. So we're almost halfway through in the race at this point in time, and so far we have not had a full run of green flag pit stops. We've always had cautions come out just shy of when we would be seeing those yellow flags come out. Do you reckon this will be the time then when we get to see some of these yellow flag stops pan out, and or green flag stops, I should say, pan out? And if we do, how do you think that's going to shake up this field?
Yeah, it's going to shake up the field a lot if we have this green flag pit stop. You know, I expect it to happen within the next 5 to 10 laps. I could be wrong. I don't know what the drivers are going to do. I'm not on their team communications, but yeah, I expect 5 to 10 laps. So I think they're going to come in. They're going to get some fuel. I don't know if they're going to get tires. If they do, maybe 2 tires on the right. If they get tires, I wouldn't be shocked, but you never know. It's Daytona. You know, the more tires, the better your driver's going to have.
And I think as well, it could also depend on who's going to get penalized when you're on pit road as well. Because, I mean, you look at this pit road, right? You're not turning when you're entering pit road. It's a straight shot in. It should be easy. In fact, Daytona, I'd argue, is one of the hardest pit roads to get onto, because you're having to come down at over 180 miles an hour, slamming on the brakes with cars that have no traction control, no ABS. You're having to lock the brakes on almost a 4-tire slide to make it down in time. And you're trying to do that when you're surrounded by oftentimes about 5 to 10 other trucks trying to do the exact same thing as you. It's not getting on the pit road itself that's tricky. It's avoiding everything around you that makes it a big challenge.
It really is a challenge. You know, if you brake and you make one little mistake, that's going to cause a train reaction. You know, there's a lot of drivers that could get turned, wrecked on the pit road. That could cause a caution. You just never know. It's Daytona.
I mean, how many times have we seen that even in the real world, right, where drivers have caused some almighty wrecks just trying to come down on the pit road? I think most notably for that for me is in 2015 in the fall Xfinity Series race, where we had 2 big ones at Talladega, and both those were caused by drivers trying to come down the pit road and collide with other drivers in doing so, and it would create, 10 car pileups in both instances. But for now, we haven't had those green flag pit stops, so we're not sure how that's obviously going to pan out, but it won't be long before we do, as Slagle clears for the lead. He's going to jump down to the bottom and abandon McLaughlin up on the top shelf. Now McLaughlin being pushed by Dunning to run down to 3 and 4, and this time by, it'll be halfway. 100 miles down, 100 to go with the TNGG IEL 200 in the season opener. So far, it is Slagle to be leading the way up in front. Watchhorn and McLaughlin side by side. From there, you've got Dunning and Whip, Bliskowski and Lewis, Raymond and Lee, Simmons sitting back in that 10th position. That's where we really hit it up in single file. Then you've got the likes of Anthony Mata with Dale Hales right behind him. Hales on a bit of trying to be on a recovery drive here after he started this race up on pole position. You got Dale Rapp at 13th, Julian Ballou in 14th, Chris Van Maastricht back in the 15th spot, Reed is 16th. You've got Michael Mayu in 17th, Joshua Jernigan in 18th, and then from there, Christopher Howell in 19th, and Patrick Hernandez back in that 20th spot. Giovanni Occhipinti just came down to pit road. You've got the likes of John Bawalda Jr. at the tail end of your lead lap pack, but he is 2 laps down. And so far, Mike Allen and Chris Gore, your 2 retirements so far on the day, as Occhipinti, again, one of the first drivers to take it to pit road for green flag stops.
Look at the 52 truck out there, Slade. Look, he's right up there. He's in the lead right now. He's sitting comfortable. If he keeps his lead, I think he's got a shot. As you see, in 2nd place, we have Watchhorn. 3rd place, McLaughlin. 4th place, Witt. Look at this. Top 5 for Dunning. Was not expecting the 28 truck to be up here. You know, I haven't seen him up here running for contention, but this could turn around.
And McLaughlin, of course, the most spots gained out of anybody. Plus 19 for the stands at the moment. It was plus 20 until he was passed up just a moment ago. Right there, did you see that aggressive duck down the inside lane? Drivers are starting to abandon this outside line. That tells me we're going to be getting pit stops here in very short order as drivers are going to be starting to think about coming on down to pit road. The one place you never want to be when you need to pit, that outside lane. Or otherwise, you're going to be risking staying out for another lap, in which case, running out of fuel, very possible at a track where you're almost completely flat out.
And another thing is, when you're trying to get ready for your pit stop and you're coming down the inside lane, be careful coming down on that inside lane, because there could be somebody coming with a run and you think you can get there in time and you're just not there, and you could get turned easily.
Gonna take a look up here. Are we gonna get anybody down to pit road this time? No, we're gonna be staying out for one more. Remember, pit window is 17 laps if you're the driver that's leading the way, about 20. Oh, as Watt tore down on the apron for a brief moment. It's about 20 laps-ish if you're the driver doing the push. Last pit on the lap 26, we had a couple of caution laps. I'm predicting around 45 to 48. That's going to be our pit window here in this one. As again, you just saw the 28 of Dunning jump down to the inside, and that is going to abandon Cole Blaskowski now up on the outside, and he is going to fall like a rock to the back of this train.
And that's the worst thing that you don't hope to happen to you, is fall all the way back, because now you're going to have to risk him moving all the way up again. Could possibly be in the big one, as you see the truckers coming into pit road. So far, so
host
good.
Of drivers down for service, and oh, the 14 sliding it out, and we just barely make it in. So pit stops underway for a good chunk of your leading field in our first green flag set of stops here of the afternoon. We'll look back up to the race leaders, Lewis, Lee, Blaskowski, Hales, and more. Running down that back straightaway, there's about a 7-10 gap between themselves and Reed, Mayo, and Jernigan. As the rest of your field here starts to leave pit road and heading up the train to the front of the drivers that just exited pit road, you're going to be finding yourselves the likes of, I believe, that's going to be Raymond. And Witt leading the way down to 3 and 4.
Look at the 92 of Witt and 6-car of Raymond. They had really good, strong runs earlier today. They got great pit stops. This is exactly what they want to see. Oh, it looks like we got some damage on the 11 truck of Lee there. Not sure what happened.
I'm one of the bad problems trying to get down to the pit road. You saw as well the 21 of Blaskowski got all sorts of out of shape as he got set to come down into pit road as well as he went out into the grass. How much are we willing to bet here that Lee ran to the back of Blaskowski and caused him to overshoot?
That could have happened, you know. He could have braked really hard and it could have just like locked up the brakes there and slid right into the 21 there. You know, like we mentioned earlier, it's hard because you're going 180 miles per hour. You got to get down close to 50, 55 miles per hour, and it's hard.
Jernigan going to pick up the race lead, and he'll get a bonus point for leading a lap. As you got Reed and Mayu both making their way down and in for pit service as well as the rest of your pack starting to try to form up here off of turn number 2. Want to get a look, if we can, here and see what happened to the likes of the 21. We'll get a look on all of that here in just a brief moment as you try to track down that 21 car and what happened to Cole Blaskowski as he began to make his way down and in for service. I can tell you right now, it's probably not going to be a terribly pretty sight as we're going to ride on board here with Blaskowski. Slagle making his way down the front straightaway as he starts dropping back a few spots. He's picked up by a good chunk of the leaders. On board with Blaskowski, see a lead right in front of him. And they're going to check in on the 11 here. Oh, whoa, hello.
Whoa.
Just overshot. And I think Kevin Lee had that damage beforehand in that case because he had absolutely nobody coming down the pit road. So that was picked up somewhere earlier in the race as Jernigan makes his lone stop. You can see Hernandez in the 0-0 dropping back. They're going to lose out on a good chunk of time. Currently leading the way, it's going to be Dan Witt, who will be your race leader. He's going to set to come around, start, finish on lap number 48. Jernigan going to be out of pit road. And he's going to be passed up by the race leaders here as he enter turn number 1.
And look at the outside lane, trying to form there. You see 91, Watchhorn. Behind him is the 20 of Daniel Lewis. And behind him is Lee in the 11 truck now. They're going to be side by side. 91 is going to try to take this lead away from 92. He is clear of the 92 if he wants to come down, but no, it looks like they're going to still stay side by side. Nope, there it goes. 91 makes an aggressive move on the inside in front of Witt there in the 92 truck.
Aggressive is a bit of an understatement there, as Barry Watchhorn absolutely sent it for the inside there. Tell you what, a good and successful run of green flag pit stop still, as it is still 18 trucks on the lead lap. 21 running total, but a big split now in the midst of this field. You got first on back to about Dale Rapp here. This is the leading path, and you go all the way back here to Dunning, who leads up the second train, and they are 5 seconds plus behind race leader Daniel Lewis, and they have a lot of work to do if they want to catch up to the leading pack.
Now, if I was in that situation, Nolan, I would want to team up with somebody, stay in single file line, keep pushing as hard as we can, try to get back to the front here, first pack. But I mean, if they get a caution, they're lucky. If not, well, they got their work cut out. They got to get going.
I'd argue a caution could even be detrimental, because look at how far back they are. They're just far enough back that they could, they'll be able to see a caution taking place, but at the same time, they're almost just close enough that if something does go wrong, they're going to be flying in with, I'd argue, not enough time to really slow it down in time for the guys at the very end.
As you see that outside lane coming down the back straightaway, falling apart. All the truckers are on the inside. So far, here's the second pack. Same thing. We got 3 trucks on the outside, but most of the truckers are on the inside. And that's really difficult. As you see the 052 of Slagan going to be side by side with 28 there. Going to try to come down. Nope, he's going to stay on the top.
I tell you what, Slagle, we thought was going to be one of those drivers that'd be right up at the front and fighting for the win with these guys. Just didn't end up falling through that way, though, as he's dropped all the way back to this second train now. While up front, Watchhorn and Lewis continue to battle it out for the race lead, being pushed by Dan Witt and Kevin Lee. He's rocking down the back straightaway with 30 to go.
Time's getting short here at Daytona. What do you expect here within the next 10 to 20 laps? You think the aggression's going to be up more? You think we're going to see more cautions? What do you think?
At this point, I don't think we're going to be seeing too many more yellows from here. I think the only way we're going to get a caution pass at this point is if there's a caution within 20 laps to go. But the way it stands right now, these guys have been very well behaved, and I don't think we're going to be getting anything of the sort here for a while yet, as Lewis gets pushed back to the front.
As you see Daniel Lewis on the outside lane with Lee pushing him, he's going to be clear. Nope, 91 on the inside of Watchhorn. Going to be side by side for 20 here. As you see the 52 on the outside, that is Rapp. What about Rapp? I mean, what do you think about him? Think he's a good driver?
Everything that we've seen tonight says he is. Dale Rapp has been running a quiet race in that number 52 truck, right? I mean, you had that one mishap earlier where he kind of caused a big stack up after the 000 of Giovanni Occhiventi got up and into the outside wall between laps 10 and 20. But that was more evasive, right? He went down and got into the 5 of John Buwalda Jr., just trying to avoid that whole mess. And so far, he's been a good job up at the front end of the field here. He's been keeping that truck clean ever since. Right on board, Dale Rapp's number 52 truck down off of turn number 2 and to the back straightaway. And it's going to continue to tick these laps away. And obviously, this is dangerous business what I'm about to ask here, Daniel, because as we both know, super speed racing can go just about anywhere. Oh, I'm going to hold my thoughts on that one. Moment his wing gets spun.
Oh,
He's spinning down the infield into pit road. Back out towards the racetrack, and no yellow yet. Lock it down, lock it down.
Oh, so close.
What a save
man.
for Witt there, though. Keeps it out of traffic and off the wall, but a tough break for Witt.
Oh, man. Imagine if he came back up on track. Oh.
That was almost disastrous there for not just Dan Witt, but everybody else.
Everybody in that second pack would have been hammered.
We're going to jump back and get a look on what happened here to Dan Witt, as it was a bit of a, it was a block from Watchhorn. Yeah, a block from Watchhorn. That's what sent the 92 down to the inside. And I'm going to get a look on board if we can here with Daniel Witt here, because I cannot understand how impressive of a save this was as he ride on board the 92. Hang on, this is going to get wild. Working the wheel back and forth, keeping it out of traffic, up to the double yellow line, and just barely keeps it off the racing surface.
Looks like he only got right front damage there. Minor damage, not excruciating damage, but thankful he didn't come back up on track there.
That, it was like I just said, they are the exact distance back that if something goes wrong up here, they could come flying in with absolutely nothing to do about it. And you know, I almost got proven right. Oh my goodness. Well, that got wild in a hurry, as we've got 25 laps left to go. You're watching the TNGG IEL 200 for the Daytona International Speedway on the season opener of what has so far been an absolutely incredible way to kick off a Truck Series season. We'll take a quick jump back. We'll be back with more here in just a few moments.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Still under green flag conditions here, as you just saw Braden McLaughlin get muscled up and out of line as he got shuffled out in this second pack here. While up front, Merrick Watchhorn continues to lead the way from Bill Hales down into turn number one. If you're just joining in, welcome to the TNGG IEL Truck Series and their season opener for the 200 here at Daytona International Speedway. My name is Will Rempel. I've had Daniel Paulus Jr. beside me all night long, bringing you all the coverage here live on Green Flag TV. It is $100 to the race winner tonight, and so far, Merrick Watchhorn looking like he wants to claim that prize. But as we all know, we get down to those closing laps, that race lead, the last place you want to be, you're a sitting duck for everybody behind you.
It's the worst feeling you can ever have. Sitting duck Follow the truck drivers behind you. You don't know what's going to happen. Even if they're side by side and you're far out, you're going to get a huge run from both lanes, and you're going to have to block the right one in order to win this race. As you see the second pack here crossing the start-finish line, you see the 14 of Simmons on the inside lane as the 21 on the outside lane there of Blake. Oh, so close to the 81 of McLaughlin, trying to get around the 21 there. Didn't work.
We got one more round of pit stops left for us here tonight before we get things sorted. And it's coming up before too long here. Remember, 17 to about 22 laps. That's the window we're looking at. As already Dan Witt coming on down to pit road to the number 92. And how the mighty have fallen for Dan Witt. You see those tire tracks in the grass? Well, that comes from when Dan Witt got spun off of turn number 4, and there was no yellow flag for it. He went down to pit road, and now he's going to be taking his final pit stop of the afternoon here with 20 laps to go. Merrick Watchorn continuing to lead the way as Bill Hales second, Lewis back in third with this leading pack. We're expecting these guys to be pitting here, I would say, within the next 5 to 10 laps here then, Daniel.
Yeah, I think they're going to get 4 good years and Sunoco fuel so we could get the freshest tires on as possible. Fresher tires, the more better your car is going to handle. If they don't take tires, I think they're just going to take a quick splash of fuel, and that's going to be the end of it.
Fuel continues to work its way down and around the front straightaway here. We'll, oh, hello. Well, speak of the devil.
Whoa.
Here comes pit stops for a good chunk of your second train.
I was not expecting this, were you?
I was expecting it this early, but I mean, hey, if they're able to make from here, so may as well.
And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking they're coming in now, so when the first pack comes in, they're gonna get the first. They're gonna be the first pack.
That's a fairly big if, though. Remember, they were 6 seconds behind that other pack, so they've got to have some on-point stops here if they're going to get themselves back out. Remember, tires on the racetrack here at Daytona does not equal speed. It only equals control. Draft equals speed. It's going to take these guys at least a lap or two to get themselves fully sorted. While, oh, hello, towards the back of the field, we got your main pack split up into 2 groups. Here's a group of 4 coming down to the lane. 2 lap cars, Howell and Hernandez, along with 2 lead lap cars, Raymond and Slagle. Or Watchorn and Raymond, Slagle and Jernigan are coming in right behind them.
Mm-hmm. Now I understand what the second pack was thinking.
It's a very different strategy then up and down throughout the field here on this one, and that actually very well might make it easier for the second pack to form these guys back up, because once you lose a truck, that's that little bit more speed you're not going to be able to carry with you. So this main pack here, it is even weaker now, especially with the second group now being able to form on the back of this one, so they can still maintain that draft for the lead lap guys.
Yes, they can. Oh, you see 11 and 20. Wow, that was
so
close.
Sketchy getting on down to pit road here. As that is Bill Hales, Daniel Lewis, and Kevin Lee. That leaves Michael Mayu, Dale Rapp, and Timmy Reed to lead the way at the front of this field in the 00, the 52, and the 256. And that's going to keep the leader of that second train, Lee, right in the fight here. As, oh, careful, merging back up onto the racetrack. This field going to work itself down into turn numbers 3 and 4, and we're expecting these guys to pull down here off of the front straightaway. There we go. No surprises on that one as Van Bestrick coming on down with them, and side by side between Mayu and Reed as they hit the commitment line, and that's going to, oh, hello, the 256 of Reed having to lift off early so he can turn it for his pit stall here. Don't want a second collision on pit road here.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want any more collisions on pit road. It's already been wild enough. But look at the 14 of Simmons in that second pack. I mean, they played a really nice strategy. They're going down the back straight away. You see the 68 behind him, so is the 28, 81. They're all right there. Now, this could be your leading pack. We're not sure yet, but it could be.
Watchorn going to be the net race leader this time through with Hernandez right behind him, a lap car. Raymond, the next lead lap driver, he's running that number 6 car third in line, and these will cycle out to be a race leaders. So they did not make up as much time as I thought. As a fact, Dylan Simmons way in the background here. They've fallen back even further. They're now 12 seconds back, and part of that has to do with shorter pit stop times for Watchorn & Co. We're going to put the actually the last pit stop times up here. This is the time they spent exclusively when they were inside their box. And you can see 9.6, 10.1, 8.7 for the top 3 at the moment. You look back to the others, though, like McLaughlin, 14 seconds, 12 seconds. It was a fair bit longer for a majority of the drivers that pitted in that second pack there. That's why these guys have been able to gap them so much more, because these guys didn't take all 4 tires. So 15 laps to go. Lewis continuing to lead the way from Lee, and Daniel Lewis back up to the point and seeing if that gear wrench number 20 Chevrolet can stay there.
Yeah, I think he's been having a fast truck all day. He's really good here at Daytona. It looks like he's really good here on super speedways. If he can keep this going, I won't be shocked if he ends up in victory lane tonight and capture the first win of the TNGG Truck Series season.
In this leading pack on the lead lap, you've got Lewis, Lee, Watchorn, Raymond, Hales, Mayu, Rapp, Reed for the top 8. Then you have to look back about 15, 16 seconds down the road to Dylan Simmons headed up this second train. He's got Mata, Dunn, McLaughlin, Bellew, Jernigan, Slagle, all in this pack as well. Of course, you got some drivers that are obviously laps down, kind of in this fray as well in both packs, which can sometimes make it a little bit more difficult to figure out who's where, right? I mean, for a while, Watchorn was actually running. In fact, Watchorn still has a lap truck between himself and the 6. In fact, he's got 2 lap trucks now between him and the 6. Luckily, though, 2 lead lap trucks in front of him, so it's a 3-truck run for the race leader, then a 2-truck buffer back to 4th. With this lull in the action, I think we can finally look into obviously what the season as a whole is going to be looking like for the TNGG IEL Truck Series here in their 4th season of competition. And I can tell you right now, it is really something to behold. They've got one heck of a schedule coming on up for them. And just to go over the races that we've got coming on up here within the next little while, as we're going to be obviously having a lot of races come to play. But if you look through the ones that are left in the month of April here, you got the Dukes of Hazzards at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway coming on up just 1 week from now. That's 155 miles for 100 laps around the older Atlanta Motor Speedway. Going to be interesting there. The Hades 150 at the Phoenix Raceway, and then the Hogback 100 at the Iowa Speedway. But you look at some other tracks, right? We have the old version of the Texas Motor Speedway, the 2009 layout. We go to Rockingham this season, the older version of Indianapolis. They go to Kentucky. They go to a lot of tracks that you don't necessarily see on a lot of schedules anymore. And I honestly love that about this series here, Daniel, because it's going to give us something new and something that breaks away from what a lot of other leagues seem to be doing.
Yeah, and it brings us back so many memories, you know? We love going to the old tracks. We love to see what these truckers can do there. You know, it gets kind of boring going to the new tracks and the same tracks that you see every season that these other series are doing. But here at TNGG, we got a fantastic schedule. I know I won't be here next weekend for the old Atlanta, but I'll try to tune in and watch the race. But I'll be back in the booth here for Phoenix and the rest of the season here on out if there's nothing popping up. But yeah, I mean, I love this old schedule, you know. It's tracks that we don't really see, like the Rockingham. I can't wait to go see that track. The old Texas layout, the old Indy layout. These are all tracks that I want to see how these truck drivers can handle.
And it is going to be a full year calculated for these guys as well. They race from today on April all the way to October 21st with no breaks, no wobbles whatsoever. So you're going to be able to tune into the TNGG IEL Truck Series every single Saturday night right here on Greenflight TV. Bar 2, we're unable to cover the July 1st weekend of the First Day 100 at Dover, as well as the Desert Racing 180 over at the Phoenix race on August 26th. But other than that, we are going to be covering every single one of these 29 races over here on Greenflight TV. And it's a straight championship, just like the old days. There's no chase, there's no playoffs. It is just whoever's got the most points at the end of the season is the winner. No gimmicks or anything like that. It is going to be such a pure championship, just like the good old days. And I can tell you right now, I have been very excited for the season ever since we signed with them about a month and a half ago, and I cannot wait to see what we're going to be getting for us here tonight, as well as the finish that we've got shaken up for us here at Daytona as we take 9 laps to go.
Yeah, and one driver I want to point out right now is Daniel Lewis. You know, if he finishes well, gets the first victory, look at that. He's already, like, in the top 3 in the standings. He's got the most points, probably. And I won't be shocked if he is your champion by the end of the season. But, you know, it's only the first race. We got tons of races to go through. Again, we're going all the way to October, and that's a long ways out from here. And a lot of stuff can happen from there.
I think that's something else to mention as well, right? The points are so different compared to what you usually see. I mean, most oval series, what you'll do is, right, you get 43 points for the winner, and it's 1 back for every position, usually about 5 bonus points for the winner. Not here. You get 85 points for winning a race, 80 for second, 75 for third, then 70, 65, then 61 for sixth place, 57, 53, 49, 45, 42, and so on and so forth. Then gradually the gaps will go lower and lower. It's not until you get to 20th place where you get to 20 points. That's where it goes down 1 per position all the way to 40th on back. It's a very unique point system. And again, there's a lot of bonus points that you can get as well. 5 for winning the race, which will give you then 90 points for winning the race. You get most laps led, that's 3 points. Leading a lap is 2 points. Pole position, that's 1 point. Fastest lap, you get a point for that as well. Speaking of which, we can pull up the fastest lap. We can tell you right now who's got the fastest lap bonus point as it stands here on this race. And currently, that holds 2-1 Braden McLaughlin, who's running all the way back in 12 with a 47.480.
Don't forget, there could be a caution here, but I don't think that could happen right now as these drivers are staying single file. But I'm going to say with 10 to go, you're going to see these drivers double up again. They're going to try to push their way up to the front here for this victory.
I think that's what we're seeing right now, right? We're seeing drivers trying to figure out where they want to go. They're trying to set these guys up for the win because you don't want to make the move in the lead with 2 to go. That's only going to put you on the back foot when you get down to the white flag. You want to be on offense, not on defense when you're on that final lap. And with only going to be 6 laps to go at the line, there is still so much that can happen in a race like this. A late race caution, right? That puts us now into green-white checker territory. What's that going to look like? Because obviously green-white checkers just throws everything up into the air.
It does. It tosses everything up in the air if we get a green-white checker. You never know. And as you see in second place, Lee's getting a little hectic now as he's trying to find a way around the 20 truck here, Daniel Lewis. But I think they're going to start doubling up here pretty soon.
There'll be 5 to go at the line. I'm not expecting to see any kind of moves here until we get to within 2 laps to go. Maybe 3 if you're a bit further back in these trains. I think that's going to be the one kind of big thing that we're going to be seeing these drivers doing. But so far, again, it has been very, very consistent for all the drivers so far in this race. And I have a feeling we're again going to be in for a phenomenal showing here tonight as it'll be 5 laps left to go here this time by. And that leaves us with just going to be about 10 miles then left to go.
As you see, the 11 truck of Lewis still looking, peeking around the outside. But nobody's willing to go out there yet, just yet. You see him peeking out there. I think that could be a sign to the other drivers behind him saying, hey, come with me, we're going to go to the outside. Oh, that could be our late race caution there.
No yellow yet.
52's up back on the track.
That was Slagle, and he was not the only one, but Walda as well getting into this. So a lot of drivers all of a sudden having some big problems here. Oh my, what in the world just happened there?
I don't know. It looks like they got door by touching doors and you just got loose or something.
I We'll
Here's
look back
another
again,
replay.
and that's a bit further back than I was wanting to go. We'll jump a bit further up here in the order, and this is 3 wide, and right there,
just a little contact.
And he's look at the 5 somehow getting around that.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
I don't know how he got past that, but another 2 seconds back, he would have been. He'd have been turned.
What an avoidance for Buwalda, and now the moves he made for the lead. Watchford under fire. Bill Hale's taking it to the top shelf. He's shoved by the 52 of Rapp.
And there's the double file I was talking about. Here they come. Look at that, the 52 of Rapp on the top lane, pushing the 40 truck of Hales. The 91 so far of Watchorn still in the lead, but look who's right behind him is the 6 truck of Raymond.
Oh, a bobble for Watchorn's trying to hang on. As he's going to fire it off the triangle and down to turn 1.
Wow.
Still side by side for the lead. Oh, wrecking! Big crash!
Daniel, there goes Daniel. 6 around, 52 wraps around. The big one. We are going into overtime here at Daytona.
And Merrick Watchorn escapes the melee. The sole driver in that leading pack to escape unscratched.
Wow.
And that changes everything.
Here we go. Now this is the green light checker we were talking about. Wow. And look who was involved in that wreck right here. Look at the 6 of Raymond, Daniel Hart into the wall, 52 of Rapp into the wall. All good trucks. The 40, the 1 is involved again. I mean, but what about Daniel? I mean, he's been strong all day. So is the 52. I mean, now look at their truck. Totally totaled here. Looks like the 60 on the apron. It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like the 52. No, it looks like it started with the 52, maybe.
Zaffa
I don't know.
We'll
have to find out.
Here's the 91. Bounces off the apron. You see the 40 up on the top shelf, and
look at that push though that he gets, though. You know.
I think it was a push gone wrong. I mean, look, he's still leaning on him entering the corner.
Right there, yep.
Yeah, or maybe the 40 tried to side draft.
I had no idea. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Carnage off of turn number
turn 1.
Turn number 1, yes, as the whole field
20s around.
Look,
52.
nobody got out of that unscathed in this pack here. Except for the 20 of Lewis. Okay, that's it. We're going to look on board with Lewis. There's no way we're not after that.
Look at the 40. Gets some air right there. Here we're on board with Daniel Lewis here.
Hang on. Watch the smoke. It's going to develop right in front of him.
Look at that.
Oh, he does get into the back.
In the front. Yep. Look at that.
I'll tell you what. Could have been a lot worse. I think he'll take a little bit of hip check to the front end as we got cars down and on the pit road now.
Oh, yeah, look at that damage there on the 20 truck of Daniel. I mean,
it's not that bad, though. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if that's, it could be his whole car, you know? I don't know if that's going to affect his speed here, but I don't think he's going to get the win here tonight.
As drivers are making their way off of pit road here. Yeah, there's almost no damage on that 20 truck at all. He's got nothing.
Could be here in contention now that I see that, but I don't know. You know, we could have another caution. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
It's a coin toss at this point. It really is. If they get down to the white flag, anything goes, right? I mean, that's the big
white
thing.
Flag. If we get the white flag, caution or checkers ends the race. But they have to get that white flag. If we have a caution before the white flag, we re-rack it and do it all over again.
You want to know something big, though? The driver we're looking at right now, Anthony Mata, did not pit under this latest caution. The driver out of Sacramento, California, going to be the driver who will be leading the way back to the green flag this time through, as he'll be one to contend with, and he last stopped at lap 61. So he is really pushing this thing here.
Yep.
As right around lap 20, that was when we thought we can make it when you're being pushed. We're on lap 81, so we're on that 25 now, but he's been able to save fuel under this caution. Does he have enough to go for this green checker to 10th? I don't think he can make it more than one, if even this one.
But think about it. It's go big or go home. You know, you're leading the Daytona race here in the Truck Series. You know, you want to win at Daytona. Daytona's a famous track. You want to get that under your resume as soon as possible. It's a hard track to win at, and it's very special to win at because you got through all the big wrecks. You know how many memories are made here. And it's go big or go home for the 68 truck.
Holy cow. This is going to be something, to say the least.
I don't know what to say here. I mean, look at this. We got the 68 leading, the 20 on the outside. Look at that. We got Raymond on the third row. We got the 91. I would watch the 91 especially. But let's not forget now, the drivers that just pitted, if they got tires, they're going to have fresh tires, which means more control of their car, which means they're going to be racing a little more harder. The 68, he didn't pit, so that could affect it, but if you can stay up in the front and keep getting those pushes, you got a shot at it. And remember, you want to get to the white flag.
Well, we thought it was going to be one to go this time by. Ended up not being the case as Michael Mayu getting waved around the pace car. That's, again, a huge, huge concern for Mata, who's on that inside line. He cannot afford to be having these yellow flag extensions right now. He is critical. He has to be critical on his fuel level as it stands. Meanwhile, Daniel Lewis on that outside lane. He started this race on pole, fell back to the second pack several seconds down, and fought his way back to the front. Does he have what it takes to see if he can't fend these guys off for a win?
Never know here. It's Daytona.
It'll be a 2-lap sprint to the end of this race. And I am almost speechless already. I can tell you right now, this is going to be a barn burner of a finish. I can tell you that right now.
I can't wait to watch this finish. I mean, it's all down on the table now. Put all your cards in the middle. It's time to get trucking and pull them seatbelts, boys, one more time because it's going to be a wild ride.
Driving by that bus stop chicane for the sports car course on the back straightaway. And the 68 Mata. Is he out of fuel?
He's out.
Is he out?
He's out of fuel. I think he might be out.
I think you're right. He's out of fuel and slowing. He didn't have enough.
Man.
What a gamble. That goes horribly wrong for the 68.
Oh, my God, man. If he had 1 or 2 more laps of fuel, he would have been great.
Oh, my gosh.
Man. Well, right now, the 91 moves up to the lead. Oh, boy, here we go. The 2 best drivers coming into Geico Restart Zone. We are in overtime here at Daytona. The 91 takes the green flag.
Merritt Watchorn pushing clear, shoved clear by Raymond. Lewis up top. He'll fall back to third. Does he clear to the bottom? No. He's going to get cut off by Braden McLaughlin. Down to the inside line. The K&N Ford F-150 trying to push clear for third. While Watchorn and Raymond go nose to tail off of turn number 2.
Look at McLaughlin there in position 3 there. As you see him going down the back straightaway, McLaughlin's going to go to the outside. He's going to get pushed from the 20. This is a shot here. But look at the 052 now in third. This is going to be a wild race. Here we go. The 6er and 91 is going to have to make a block in order to get to the white flag. Here we go. You're going to want to be leaning on the white flag because if a caution comes out, you are the race winner. Here we go. White flag in the air at Daytona.
Final lap. McLaughlin and Watchorn side by side. McLaughlin being pushed up on the top shelf. He's going to try to palm clear Mary Watchorn down to 1 and 2. But Watchorn still with the bottom as he's going to be shoved by one Aaron Raymond down through turn numbers 1 and 2. We're 3 wide in the background. Still clean though. No caution or no trouble, Jesse, I should say, on this final lap as we continue to let these few miles take away. Contact in the back. The 11 jumps up. He's able to save it, though. We run down to 3 and 4. Does the 6 have what it takes? Watch short point clear. Raymond to the top. Here comes Aaron Raymond. He's stuck for the lead. And Merrick Watchorn. Merrick Watchorn
Caution flag is out. The 91 of Watchorn is going to win at Daytona.
What a win for Merrick Watchorn, as he's able to secure a race win in dramatic fashion as the whole field takes themselves out across the line. Raymond had the run. He had him off of turn number 4, and it goes horrendously wrong as the whole field stacks it up on the final corner. We'll get a look back. This one, look at Raymond. He gets tagged by McLaughlin, and around goes the field as they wreck big time off of turn number 4.
Yeah, and if you think about Raymond, oh man, hard hits.
Yeah, the 90 of Hernandez with a wicked hit as well.
And think about it, Raymond had to take it. He had to take the opportunity. I mean, if it all went well, I think Raymond would have had it, but he had an opportunity and he took it, but it just didn't go as planned.
My goodness. Well, with all of that said and done, we're still waiting on a few drivers to come across the start-finish line, by the way. We do not have our official results that we could show you as of right now, but I can tell you right now, Merrick Watchorn definitely going to be your race winner at the end of the night, as we're just waiting now on the last driver to come across the start-finish line, and now we'll be able to burn it down to the front straight away. So as Watchorn gives us the smoke show, here's a rundown of your field, top to bottom, from TNGG IEL 200 at the Daytona International Speedway. It is Merrick Watchorn to take the win over Jamie Dunning. Brad Slagle picks up 3rd with Michael Mayu back in 4th. Timmy Reed is going to pick up that 5th spot with Bill Hales at 6th. Kevin Lee is in 7th with Patrick Hernandez over in the 8th spot. Brandon McLaughlin is going to be back in 9th with Daniel Lewis in 10th to round out the top 10. And Aaron Raymond, the last of the drivers on the lead lap. Julian Ballou back in 12th with Colt Blaskowski, and 13th Dan Witt brings up a 14th as we're entering a used car lot at this point in time. John Bawalda Jr. in 15th with Anthony Mata in 16th. Dylan Simmons in 17th with Joshua Jernigan back in the 18th spot. Dale Rapp, Christopher Howell, Chris Van Maastricht, Giovanni Occhiventi, Mike Allen, and Chris Gore. Going to be rounding out the rest of your field here tonight from the Daytona International Speedway. My goodness, again, what a race that we have had so far for us here tonight, as we could not have asked for a better way to kick off a season in the TNGG IEL Truck Series over here. We'll see if we can't get a talk with a few of the drivers here at the end of this one. And, of course, we're going to kick things off, I would hope, with one Merrick Watchorn, who we'll see if we can't drag up into the broadcast booth. We'll give a chat here with your race winner, the number 91 car, taking the victory at the end of the night. Merrick, you're obviously going to be really happy how that race went. What did you think as you saw the 6 make that move and then immediately get spun around in your mirror?
That was something. I went up there to block him just a little bit, just to kind of slow him up. I saw that I had Brady coming up, or Brad coming up behind me, so I was actually just going to drop back down with him. He was telling me in my ear, no, come back down, I'll push you to the win. I'm like, all right, let's go. But I was not expecting the 6 car to get put 3 wide with the 40 in him. But last lap, last corner, shenanigans ensued, and we brought a first win for the Watchorn Motorsports team and for myself this year for the IEL Series, so it's pretty awesome.
Of course, it was a race that was so calm for so long, and then it all kicks off right at the end. Overall, how would you sum up this race as you found yourself running up in the main grouping for a majority of the run?
Pretty clean, pretty tight racing amongst the top 10. We were all kind of staying, keeping our P's and Q's throughout the evening, so it was kind of nice. But man, that was something towards the end. I was kind of hoping we kind of went green. I saved enough fuel for the finish, and then we had a green white check, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. So luckily I pitted and got 4 fresh tires and just said we're just gonna go for it, and that was a good call on my end, I guess. So hey, going to do what I gotta do.
Obviously, this is a great way to kick off your title bid here in the TNGG IEL Truck Series. Next time up is the Dukes of Hazzard's 100 at an older Atlanta Motor Speedway. What's your thoughts as we get set to swing up to Georgia?
And just stay out of trouble, work on my line, and make sure I don't burn up my stuff. It's hot Atlanta, so our tires are going to be dying. We're going to be screaming for tires, and as long as we can keep our car out of trouble, we could win the race again. So just got to put my head down and go for it and see what I can do for myself.
Well, best of luck out there as we get set to go racing for 100 laps in just 1 week's time. Thanks for joining us tonight. Congratulations on the race win. Best of luck next week in Atlanta.
Thank you.
That was Merrick Watchorn, the driver out of Leesburg, Virginia for the Watchorn E-Motorsports crew. We'll move on down to the second place finish at the end of the night. It is plus 12 positions for Jamie Dunning and Daniel. You're standing by with our runner-up.
Hey, Jamie, how are you doing? And congratulations in top 3.
Thanks, guys.
Now, Jamie, have you been doing lately at Daytona?
It's up and down. I mean, you know how Daytona goes. It's every man's for himself, moving around, trying to gain positions as fast as they can to get to the front, and it causes mayhem. I mean, it's Daytona. It's every super speedway track.
Now, what do you think you could have done that could have got your 28 truck in victory lane here tonight?
Stay out of the trouble that I was in at the beginning of the race. I was up in the top 10 for probably about 20 laps, and then all of a sudden I dropped all the way back, lost the lead pack, and tried to battle our way back, but it wasn't working. Thankfully, that late caution came in, which helped me get back to the lead pack and potentially get to my P2 finish.
Well, I want to say congratulations on top 3 here at Daytona. Now that we're past Daytona, it's over. Now, what are you expecting now heading into Atlanta, Georgia on the old figuration here at Atlanta next weekend?
It's about saving tires there on the old config. You don't want to run the high line too much, and you also don't want to push on the bottom because you're going to eat your tires up. Tire management comes key when running a mile and a half tracks. Excuse me.
All right. Well, Jamie, I want to congratulate you on a top 3 finish here at Daytona. What a great way to start the truck season here for you guys. And I can't wait to watch you next weekend here at Atlanta, Georgia.
Thanks, guys, for putting this on. I hope everybody that watched enjoyed it.
That was Jamie Dunning, the driver out of Williamson, New York, and his 1111 veteran Project Race for Heroes and Patent Paints Black Rifle Coffee, number 28 Chevrolet. We'll move things on down to our third of our podium finishers. It is Brad Slagle joining us up here in the broadcast booth. Now, Brad, what a finish for you. You found yourself kind of up and down throughout the duration of this race. For a while, we thought you weren't going to be there to contend with us at the very end because you got relegated in that second pack.
Yeah, I don't think I should have finished third. Maybe 6th or 7th after that late race caution. There was a big mix up with the race control and what was going on, but I guess luck was kind of on my side at the end of the checker flag.
So walk us through that final 2 laps then, because obviously it got real hectic real quick, especially up 4 on that last lap. How'd you survive to pick up a 3rd place finish?
I don't know. I know when I got 1 second. Sorry, kid ran in the room. I know once when I got coming around out of 4, I seen the 2 outside cars or trucks start to get a little, pushy and antsy. I'm like, this is not going to end well. They're weaving left and right. And then I seen the one sideways, and the 28 was in my bumper. So it was just hold it to the floor and hope it didn't get me too bad. And the right rear quarter hit wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, which kept me straight enough to go up. I lost a lot of momentum and lost the 2nd place, but I just got lucky. At the end of the day, it was just luck. And it's plate racing. It's luck most of the time anyways.
It's not going to be so much about luck when we get set to go racing next week in Atlanta, Georgia, over at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but it's not the configuration we're growing more and more used to. It's that old 2008 layout, a layout that not nearly as draft heavy as the current one is. What's your take as we get set to go back to some old school racing?
Slippery. Tires. That's about it, especially if it's going to be a hot day and a hot track. tires to be the number one thing, I believe, in Atlanta. At the I guess Legacy or 2008 Atlanta, whatever they want to call it.
I think that kind of sums it up nicely for us there. Congratulations, obviously, on that third place finish. Somehow you managed to survive. Hopefully you'll survive for one more week and get yourself set for a title bid here in season number 4. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. See you next week.
That was Brad Slagle in his 052 Team Extreme Racing number 052 Chevrolet. And I tell you what, that's going to be about a wrap for us then here tonight. And again, what an absolutely phenomenal race that we had for us here at Daytona International Speedway, Daniel. I don't think we could have expected any kind of a better race to kick off what will be, no doubt, a phenomenal season.
I can expect a better race here tonight, Nolan, from Daytona. It's what we were expecting. We were expecting the big ones to happen. We were expecting to have a great finish, you know. Right there at the end, I didn't think we were going to have overtime, but I really wanted to have overtime, and we got it. And we had a great finish. We saw Raymond there in second. He had to make a move, try to get up to the front, but it all ends well with the 91 winning here tonight.
And well, with that, that's going to be about a wrap for us then here from Daytona International Speedway here on Green Flag TV. My name is Little Rempel with Daniel Paulus Jr. beside me in the broadcast booth. Thank you for joining us here tonight on Green Flag TV. It has been an absolute barn burner of a show to kick things off. I'll be back next week for the Dukes of Hazzard 100 at Atlanta Motor Speedway when we go racing in Georgia. Until then, we'll see you later from the World Center of Racing. You've been watching the TNGG IEL Truck Series season opener on Green Flag TV. We'll see you all next time.